Hey, we're here. It's the Pooh Show. We're back. Life is life. Apologies for last week. We did intend to do something, and then life threw another curveball. So here we are, a week later, and we're going to talk about Packers, what we saw in the last game, and we're going to talk about what's coming up in the next game because Viking Moe is here. Viking Moe, Viking Moe. So excited because the Vikings have won some games in a row and they beat the mighty 49ers. Oh my goodness gracious. How the hell did that happen? I don't even know. Viking Mo, you got to be on cloud 11 at this point. You beat the 49ers. 49ers.
It felt pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's the best they played all year, and especially in some particular areas. So it just feels good to have a little life back into the season, so that's exciting.
Yeah, we don't know what that feels like. So living vicariously through you at the moment.
Well, this is, unfamiliar territory for you guys, really, for the past 30 years.
Well, last year they are bad too, and they stunk it up.
No, you're right. It is unfamiliar territory in some ways.
Yeah.
But not in others.
So is Jordan Love the guy?
No.
Oh, Ben.
Wow.
Didn't you watch the QB school? It wasn't as bad as you thought. There were plenty of other problems.
It was pretty bad.
Now he is getting jumpy and nervous in the pocket, which is also causing him some problems, right? But he's showing some talent and some ability to do things that are pretty cool. So he's just got to stop. He needs better. Maybe he needs a better offensive line, and maybe that's the problem. Even though we have a great quote to talk about tonight too from Adam Stenovich here this week. That was pretty awesome. I don't know if anybody saw that.
It's pretty bad.
Eye-opening. So there's lots of things to get into here, but anyway, Viking Mo, we let you go off the top of the show because congratulations to you. Your Vikings somehow won 3 games. We don't know how they did it, and they beat the 49ers. How did they pull this last one off? Tell me, because I didn't watch, but I FaceTimed Dad, and he's like, "Yeah, the Vikings are getting their ass kicked, 16-7. They're losing here in the third quarter. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, okay. It sounds like a regular Vikings to me." And then I woke up the next day and somehow the Vikings won. So what happened?
Well, maybe he read the score wrong because they were up 16-7.
The Vikings were?
Yeah, they were never down 16-7. They actually led the entire game.
All right. Well, then I can't trust Dad on that.
I don't know. It was weird. I mean, I was surprised a little bit, to be honest, because they started off normal, so they threw an interception on like the second play. But then they forced a turnover, forced a fumble, got one back, and then scored a touchdown, and then kind of never really looked back. I think I was surprised by the offensive line play. The defensive front from San Francisco is, taunted one of the better defenses in the league, but they didn't give up a single sack in the game. To someone like Kirk Cousins, who's obviously not super mobile, but he did escape maybe one sack on his own. But and he was just kind of on fire. He actually just kind of lit them up. He wasn't missing. So that was kind of fun to watch. They actually got away from the running game just because, Cousins was so hot in the game and the defense played pretty well. So, and they matched the physicality. So I was just really, the biggest surprise for me was how the offensive line played so well. And I think it was part of getting Bradbury back. And then they actually had an injury to left guard and the backup did much, much better. So hopefully he stays there. And then we'll see what happens from there. So, but yeah, it was fun to watch. It was fun on prime time to see him actually play well.
That leads me to an interesting stat.
Okay.
According to PFF grades, overall grades, the Vikings have the number 3 ranked rush blocking grade as an offensive line, and they're in the top 5 in like 4 or 5. I can't remember exactly which one. In pass blocking grade as a whole this season.
Yeah.
Now that's like freaking turnover upside down land, because usually the Vikings stink at everything on offensive line. So the fact that the PFF is grading the Vikings offensive line as a top 5 unit in the NFL right now in both phases is only a positive. Now that could mean that the rest of the league has really bad offensive lines, which I think is true, but still, That's pretty dang good, and it gives Kirk Cousins a chance. Are you ready for this? I have another neato stat of the night.
Ooh.
Ben's neato stat of the night. Jordan Love is the 5th or 4th worst percentage of on-target passes to wide open receivers in the NFL. It's something like 12% or 11.9% of his passes to wide open receivers totally whiff and aren't even near where they're supposed to be. Number 1 at 2 point something percent is Patrick Mahomes. But number 2 is Kirk O'Chains at 2 point something percent.
Oh.
So not only do you have a top 5 offensive line, you have the second most accurate quarterback in the NFL, Mo. That's got to be something to be pretty excited about.
I mean, Kirk Cousins is still who everyone knows him to be. He does really, really well when he has protection, like a lot of quarterbacks, but particularly him because he's not a guy who's going to extend plays very often. So, but when he's given time in a lane and not someone pushed into his lap, like the problem has been so many years, he can be pretty good. And I think everybody kind of knows that. But yeah, it's helped that they've improved a lot. And I think Bradbury, the center's gotten a lot better. The rookie, who was a rookie last year, the right guard, Ingram's gotten a lot better. And then having a fortunate injury to a player who wasn't doing that well in the pass blocking game and having Reisner pop in has been fortunate. But their tackles have always been pretty good when they're healthy. So that's the thing.
That's interesting. We had that happen. We had one of our guys who sucks get hurt, and then 5 plays later, he was back in the game again, unfortunately.
That's too bad.
Because he came out and they took our best offensive lineman and put him in his spot, and then they brought in a guy off the bench who's a perennial starter, probably at least a top 32 tackle, or at least top 64 tackle. He's a starting caliber tackle in the NFL, but the Packers don't play him for some unknown reason. Even though Dave Bakhtiari is out, can't play, they'd rather play a second-year player who was a 7th or 6th round pick or something over this guy who they gave a second-round tender to in the offseason so that nobody would sign him because they'd have to give the Packers a second-round pick if they did sign him, and they signed him to a $4.5 million deal, and he's sitting on the bench and not playing. Yash. They are playing Yash. We don't know what's going on. Apparently, I don't know if he got frisky with one of the coach's wives or something, and they're mad at him. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not trying to start rumors here, but I can't think of any other reason why the guy wouldn't be on the field when he's probably, your second best offensive lineman, or at least second best tackle right after Zach Tom, who obviously is our best player on the whole offense right now, which isn't saying a whole lot. But so what happened? I don't know. Was Yash, making the moves on Steno's wife or something? I'm not trying to, start some little stuff going on here, but who knows? Who knows what's going on? Yash can't get in the field, even though Josh Myers stinks. Elton Jenkins is hurt and playing like crap. Runyon Bunyan's got a messed up ankle and he's out there trying his best, but he stinks. Freaking Rasheed Walker's got big dog syndrome, and not big dog Mercedes Lewis, big dog Glenn Robinson, where as soon as the whistle blows, actually not even that. After 1 second, he works really hard for 1 second, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm cool." So he'll block the guy for 1 second, and then he's like, "Yeah, you're good. Go ahead." What's that? You want to get to the quarterback? Wait, no, you're not getting there. Oh yeah, okay, go ahead. You can do it. Psych. I was kidding. So that's what he does. Watch the plays. I watched the 22. He's like, blocks for 1 second, really good, and then it's like, nah.
I know.
But that guy starts over Yash.
He shuts it down. The Packers have very few offensive linemen that sustain blocks.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Like and Walker is the biggest culprit of that, like you said, Ben. He has an initial thrust and then just lets the guy, like he does not recover. If someone gets off his block, he does not try to stay with him. He does not recover. He does not try to find anyone else to block if that happens. There's so many plays in this last game where the guys would miss their block or got off their block within a second, and then they just literally are just freaking standing there doing nothing when Aaron Jones is getting crushed or whatever and trying to figure out how to get somewhere. It's just ridiculous. I mean, our offensive line is terrible, but Adam Stenavich does not think so.
Yeah.
Adam Stenavich, our offensive coordinator, Viking Moe, former offensive line coach, Adam Stenavich, the great Adam Stenavich, was asked in a press conference about moving Zach Tomer, best offensive lineman, to center because he jumped in there when Josh Myers got hurt, and he said Josh Myers, quote, Josh Myers is playing the best he's played in his career, which now that's a low bar, granted. There's not you could say best in his career, and that's still not saying much. Anyway, those were the words he used. I think he's playing very well. Now that is completely off base. So I don't think right now that's the right move for us because I think he is one of our best 5 players. Josh Myers.
Okay,
and everyone was like, what?
Best 5 players. I'm hoping he means best 5 offensive linemen.
But he's still wrong. That's still wrong.
But if he's one of the best 5 players, then we are in big trouble. Like real big trouble.
Isn't his career like 2 years long? Like best play in his career?
3.
Oh, sorry.
3. This is his 3rd year.
Sorry.
He was drafted 1 pick before Creed Humphrey was drafted by the Chiefs. Right after we picked this center, the Chiefs picked the center that everybody talked about before the draft and said, this guy is going to be a all-star Pro Bowler for his entire career. If you need a center, draft this guy. The Packers let Corey Linsley go in free agency, so they had a giant hole at center. The 2nd round pick was right there. They had a choice between a 6'5", 220-pound guy with bad knees and zero flexibility whatsoever, or a 6'3", 305-pound athletic monster who was quick and it has great agility and also has strength and can hold up and is really smart. And they went with the big, slow, dumb guy who, when he falls down, it takes him 5 years to get back up like a grandpa. That's what they went with, Mo. On a team that runs a zone running scheme, which is, hey, everybody move fast and get on a guy, right? Do you want a big lumbering ding dong for that? No. And they also run, their pass protection schemes. Do you want a big, slow guy in the middle who could just sit there and be like a big ding dong? No, you want a guy who can snap the ball and then get his ass up there and get ready to block some guys and help out over here and help out over there, right? That's what you want for center, especially in this Matt LaFleur system. And Goody drafts a big, slow guy who was nothing like Corey Linsley, but he went to the same college as Corey Linsley. See, and that's why Brian Gutekunst is like Ohio State center, just like Corey Linsley, and he was really good. So I guess we'll draft him. And now, 3 years later, 2.5 years later, we all know. At the time, we all thought it was dumb, but we were like, oh, maybe we don't know something. Maybe Goody knows something more than we do. Who knows? And we gave him the benefit of the doubt. But now it's obvious. It's another situation where we had the guy staring at our face, just like back in whatever 2012 or whatever year that was, when we were sitting there. Harrison Smith is sitting right there. We could have easily drafted him. And then we're like, nah, let's trade back. Yeah, let's trade back. Then they traded back. And then the Vikings jumped up 1 spot before us and traded up 1 spot before us and grabbed Harrison Smith. And then we took Dayton Jones. Dayton Jones. And Harrison Smith is still, it's a way back. But it's one of the dumb moves that the Packers did, just like they always do. They could have picked Derwin James, but they traded back and then traded back up again to get Jair Alexander. And then what did they do with that extra 1st-round pick they got? They drafted Darnell Savage, also known as Darnell Suckage. So it's another genius move by Goody. Every year we do something stupid, and now we're going to deal with it because guess what? We don't have a freaking Hall of Fame quarterback who could just chuck it to a guy, even though he's covered with a perfect pass, who's an asshole. We got a nice guy who can't hit the broadside of a barn. So I don't know what to tell you, Mo.
Accuracy is the problem, right? Is that the problem? I mean,
no.
Well, because I saw
there are many problems.
This 29th ranked quarterback in terms of completion percentage, and especially struggling with the deeper passes. Is that how?
No.
All right, you want to be filled here? We'll give you a summation here.
This is what I've observed and read, but I mean, you guys, I haven't seen every game like you guys have. But
yeah, well, we'll give you this straight information. These other guys, don't worry about what you read from them. Okay. Jordan, here's what's happening with Jordan Love. All right, Jordan Love does a couple things well. Okay, he is good at throwing the ball over the middle. He's good at intermediate range passes.
Mhm.
His deep ball is he doesn't have good control on it. I don't know if he waits too long to throw it, whatever. Apparently, he was overshooting guys much of camp, so then they told him to put more air on the ball. Now he's thinking about putting too much air on the ball, so now it hangs up there too long, and he's underthrowing guys. I don't know what the hell to do with all that. And then he's not very accurate on like the flat passes or short passes or stuff like that. But off play action, the staple play action game of chunk plays over the middle that this offense is known for, he's great at that. However, in the first half of the last 3 games, his coach would not call any of those plays. They ran 0 of those plays. They would take Luke Musgrave, who is their fast tight end, who's supposed to threaten the defense and stretch the field and open things up. And we talked about how fast he can run, who is not good at catch and run, who's not good at changing direction or catching the ball on the flat, turning upfield and doing anything with it except for falling on his face. But he's really fast running up the seam. We don't run him up the seam. We run him in the flat and we throw him short passes. Then he falls down or gets tackled right away. So they're not using him that way. They're not using a bunch of these guys this way. They don't call any of the plays that Jordan Love is good at in the whole first half. And then when they finally start to, then he gets some completions. So he was basically throwing checkdowns or bombs for most of the first half of the last 3 games. And on top of that, his completion percentage, while he's been inaccurate at times, he's had plenty of guys not catch balls that they should catch. He's had drop balls. So there's a lot going on there. Plus, he's always got pressure in his face a lot of the time. And now that's happened so much that even when there isn't pressure in his face, he thinks there's pressure in his face and he's getting jumpy in the pocket. So all that's going on with our young quarterback at the moment. And all of it is making this offense really look pretty bad.
Well, it seems like teams are kind of catching on to some of that too and trying to play, him into his strengths a little bit more. I read something that pass attempts with 20 or more air yards, Jordan Love is 6 of 27, which is a 22% completion percentage, with 0 TDs and 3 interceptions on the season, which is just, it's not good. People are going to dare him to throw deep all the time and sit on the underneath stuff and intermediate stuff all the time. Is that what you're seeing?
Well, and the other big problem is the running game has been terrible. So if the running game,
is it terrible? It is terrible.
Yes, it is. It's been bad, Ben. Even though we've seen at times they've been able to do it okay, but because the running game is so bad, no one respects it. So the linebackers are not coming up and even worried about it because they're like, what's AJ Dillon going to break one off on us? Not worried about that. Oh, Aaron Jones, he's out again. Okay. We're not worried about it.
Well, the other key problem is our offensive line can't even get an initial block on a guy in the running game. So the defenses, they just sit there, they drop 7. And not only do they drop 7, they do like a 5 zone in the middle or within 5 yards. And then they got 2 safeties deep. So what they're doing is they're taking away the deep ball. They're taking away the quick pass because they have 5 guys taking up all this lane in the middle. And then so you think, okay, it seems like when you're looking at it, it looks like they've got guys in the box, right? That they're going to come and run, except they don't come to cover the run. They still stay back 5 yards for looking for the pass because they're not worried about the run. Because also our offensive lineman can't block a single defensive tackle who's in front of him, who schools them and gets in the backfield right as soon as our ball carrier gets the ball, and then he gets creamed right away. So that's another problem. Teams don't even need to blitz against us. Matter of fact, Jordan Love, when the opposing teams blitz him, has a much better passer rating against blitz than he does against non-blitz. That's our only hope against the Vikings, because the Vikings, of course, with Brian, what's his face,
Flores.
Flores. He's the number 1 blitzer in the whole NFL this year as defense coordinator. Yeah. So that's good news for us. That's our only hope, is that they keep blitzing, and then maybe Jordan Love will actually pass or look good for once, because the last 5-6 weeks. Well, whatever, 3-4 weeks, teams just sit there in a 5-yard zone, taking away every quick pass, and they don't have to blitz, yet they still can get pressure on Jordan Love within a second and a half. So Love has to make a quick decision and throw the ball. And because of that, there's no route combinations to take advantage of this because there's no holes. Guys can't even get to the second level behind that initial zone because the pass rush is already there in Love's face. So he's got to throw these check downs or these quick passes, and everybody's just sitting on it and they just break it up. Because our receivers are a bunch of wimps who won't fight through contact because they're a bunch of wimps, weasels who also don't go up for jump balls. So that's why I think 2 of Jordan Love's picks are because he threw it up for a jump ball and the receiver is like, where is it? Where is it? Where? And the DB just jumps up and grabs it because they're idiots. So they can't find the ball.
Hey, speaking of that, Ben, JJ is here, and he said how he wanted them to take Pickens so badly. And looking at what Christian Watson has not done, one, not being able to be on the field, but also really not showing much polish as a receiver, right? He's not really getting better he's a crazy athlete, which the Packers tend to go for. Crazy athletes, Lucas Van Ness, but again, not impactful. Whereas you got a guy in Pickens who's making catches, makes tough catches, make plays for his quarterback all the time. Watson is not a guy who makes plays for his quarterback. And this quarterback needs guys to make plays for him.
Well, he's a tall, lanky, stiff runner. He has 0 agility. He can't find the ball in the air. He can't adjust to the ball in the air very well. He looks very awkward when he's trying. This is no Randy Moss. When we drafted him, the people were like, "Oh, he's got the potential to be Randy Moss if he could just catch the ball." He has terrible hands, but he's 6'4" and 215 and runs like the wind. And we're like, "Woohoo, Randy Moss." Well, you know what? Randy Moss could find the ball if it was like an inch big. He could see it up in the sky, jump up there, grab it with 3 guys around him with one hand, and then take it all the way to the house. This guy, Watson, can't find the ball in the air at all. Matter of fact, I think Goody, that's a prerequisite for all draft picks Goody makes. Darnell Savage, can't find the ball in the air. Jair Alexander, can't find the ball in the air. Christian Watson, can't find a ball in the air. All these guys, these are second-round picks who can't find a ball in the air, or first-round picks for the 2 defensive backs. Your number one job is to catch the damn ball. You can't catch it if you can't see it. And these guys he can't see it. He's a useless player. Unless they do end arounds with him, or if they do the quick slants. But they don't, for some reason, LaFleur is only throwing deep bombs to Christian Watson, or he's doing screen passes to him, which is dumb because he's not a quick acceleration guy. He's a get acceleration as you go guy. He needs to build up the speed. So he needs to he's really good on the 10, 15 yard crossing route. He picks up his speed, and by the time he gets halfway through the field, he's already at top speed going like 21 miles an hour. And then you throw it to him on a slant like this where he can see the ball coming to him and he catches it clean. But whenever he has to look for the ball over his shoulder or like this, or it's down 20, 30 yards downfield, he can't find the ball. He's terrible. He makes Justin Jefferson look like a superstar, which he is not, of course. We all know that. But anyways.
Mo was just saying how Kirk was tearing it up, and there's no Justin Jefferson to be found. So he's doing all that with no Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, what's up with that?
That's true. Well, that's because the other guy that you didn't like that they drafted did so well.
Yeah, he did so well. He caught the ball, and then the other guy grabbed it from him, and Kirk got a freaking pick because of it.
Yeah, but then he also took one back from him.
Yeah, later on, I know. He did the same thing. Probably because he was like, he felt so bad about giving poor Kirko a pick when he never should have got that pick.
A little redemption, all in the same game.
Yeah.
Plus, isn't Addison like a 5'8" and like 110 pounds soaking wet?
Yeah, that's why you didn't like him as a draft pick.
I don't like
you
that.
also didn't like Justin Jefferson as a draft pick, and you still don't think he's good. But that's why I think he'll be good, because you don't like him.
No, those players are not good on the Lambeau turf.
Okay,
you'll see. You'll see on Sunday. Now, when you play in the whatever dome you guys have, whatever it's called nowadays, that stupid place, they're probably great on there because they're playing on carpeting, and their little quick ability, juke moves and stuff are great. But when you play on Lambeau,
is that shag carpet, or is it like
shag carpet? When you play at Lambeau, you got to get the right cleat size. Somebody mentioned it in here. I think it was JJ or somebody. Yeah. He's like, hey, are the Vikes going to wear the right size cleats? Probably not. They never do.
They've been talking about it all week.
Have they? Okay.
Yeah, because they remember how much they slipped all the time last year. So
that was the excuses they gave us. That they go, I kept slipping.
No one wore the cleats they wanted to wear, so they're going to fix that this year, I hope.
All right. Well, I'll give it to you there.
I think this is sarcasm from Jason Lechner here, but he says you guys are making me feel better and better about this critical game on Sunday. It is a critical
I don't
game
think we
for
are.
It is a critical game for the Packers. Not as much the Vikings because they got the big win and not a lot of expectations. The Packers, we had people picking the Packers to win this division this year, and look at how they're doing. It's just it has not gone to plan. And the Packers have some tough games yet on the schedule. So this is a must win for them. This has to win. This is like have to win this game. Do you feel like from a Vikings perspective that if they lost this game on Sunday, would it be like this isn't a must win, I don't think, right? For them?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I have trouble with must wins this early in the season, but I feel like, obviously the win over San Francisco has turned around people's perspective on, because they were like, oh, they're going to sell at the trade deadline, or they probably should be buyers now because they prove they can beat a good team. So, it's an important win. I think you don't want to now go into Green Bay against a team that's kind of down right now and then lay an egg and not win when you just had this big win. You want to be able to build off that, and their schedule is kind of favorable going forward here the next few games to maybe put a little run together. So and you can only do that if you keep winning. So I think to go into Green Bay, regardless of, the record and things at this point, it's always big to win there in Green Bay. And if they want to start building some momentum and turn into, a playoff contender, they need to win this game. So I think, Green Bay's, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are feeling or not. If you guys feel like there's still potential to turn things around this season, you guys have an injury list like that's a mile long right now.
Yeah,
half of them are offensive linemen. Every level of the defense has an injury. Like, what's going on?
We went into the bye week and we had 2 or 3 guys on an injury report, and a couple guys already on injured reserve. We came out of the bye week without even playing a game. All of a sudden, there's 12 guys injured.
What?
How the hell do we go from 3 to 12?
I don't
know in the bye week, but that's how it happened. And now after this game, we had Eric Stokes who came back. Eric Stokes, who got hurt last year against the Lions, and he didn't play the whole rest of the year. And then he came back just for this game, and he played four special teams snaps.
Teams, yeah.
And then he got hurt. Now he's on IR again. The guy got 4 freaking snaps out of him. What the hell? We got nobody left.
I just heard today that
we picked up a guy off the Carolina Panthers practice squad. The only team who doesn't even have a win, we go and take a guy off their practice squad? I mean, come on. How bad are we at this point?
I heard a popular Halloween costume this year is going to be Bacta Zombie because no one's sure that he's really alive anymore.
Oh, no.
Don't even get me started on him.
No, they talked about this a couple weeks ago, Eric. They finally have it figured out.
Yeah, they got it figured out now.
And he expects to be back next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
It only cost the Packers 3 full years and about $80 million. It's fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
This guy
next year they'll have it figured out.
There was a stat, David Bakhtiari, in the history of the NFL, no player has made more money per snap played over the last 3 seasons.
How many has he played?
I don't know. But he made $800,000 per snap. And that was after the second week of the season. So there's been a bunch more game checks coming to him over the last 5 games or 4 games.
I thought it was 80,000 per snap back then.
Maybe it was 80,000.
But it's well over 100.
It's still a ridiculous amount of money per snap.
Sure.
I mean, what the crap? Because the guy, he's been stealing money.
Well, yeah, he's not been available. So
any person with any dignity would have retired after the first 2 years where things didn't work. Or I said this, Mo. So he did in the all off season. He was out having fun, doing his thing, didn't practice, wasn't showing up for OTAs, nothing like that. Comes in for training camp, did not practice a lick, didn't play a lick, didn't do jack squat all preseason. Then he plays the first game of the year without practicing at all. Gets through the whole game, smiling and giving the Bears fans the finger. And then he's hurt and can't play no more. And they said, and then he had a half an hour press conference about what happened and how he said that, well, they had a plan that they thought was going to work. And then after he played in the game and had all that snaps, we found out that plan wasn't going to work. So now we have to do surgery. Well, my thought was, wow, how about if in March you would have came and worked out as if it was a game, and then you would have found out that, hey, the plan you had wasn't going to work, and you could have had surgery in March, and then you would have been, because now they say, oh, the surgery is going to work this time. This time we know the surgery is going to work. They could have had surgery in March, and he would have been ready to play at the start of the season. But instead, they waited until the start of the season, and now he's out for a whole nother season because they waited too long, because he was too busy doing whatever, stealing money. Goodbye, Bakhtiari. Please go away. I hope he trade him to the Vikings, and then he'll probably be great. And that's great for him. But I'm
Vikings
sick of
don't need a
freaking watching
tackle.
this guy. I don't care. You can have him. You can have all our guys. You can take Jair Alexander, too.
I wouldn't mind Jair.
You can take Kenny Clark for
you
sure.
would after a while.
I don't know. I mean, he's, a bit of a tool, but still.
Jair is a huge tool. I used to like him. And now Kenny, Mo?
I don't know if Viking Moe. I don't know.
I think
Equanimous St. Brown took him to school last year.
He's another guy who's not available very often.
Oh, is he hurt? Well, he was on the list, but he's going to play.
He played one game.
He's finally going to play. Okay,
isn't he?
Great.
No, he might not play.
He was limited.
Oh, yeah.
He's questionable.
Yeah, he's
not
always
gonna play.
questionable.
Aaron Jones was limited. You guys got Musgrave didn't practice. I think he actually did today, maybe, but you guys got a lot of big
Musgrave got smoked in the head because they're running dumbass plays with him.
He might play.
Yeah. He'll play because he's young. He's like 20 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
Look, man,
take over.
Sully is getting tired of playing with these guys who talk a lot of crap and don't produce. He's getting tired of it. And we talked about it last week. Rudy Ford's getting tired of tackling everybody. He's got, for a safety, he's got to tackle way too much. He's tackling way too much. And I said this last week. I was really looking back at last week's game. I don't know what the hell was going on with Quay Walker, but he just looked like he didn't even give a crap last week. He looked like a guy and he's one of our guys who has to be tough, who brings toughness and speed and aggressiveness to the defense. And last week against the Broncos, in a game that we needed against a crappy team, time and time again, Quay Walker, who I have praised many, many times and really did not, he just missed plays. He didn't get off blocks. He didn't attack. He didn't flow on running plays. He was standing there waiting. I'm like, who is this guy? What happened to him? He didn't even look like he cared. And I'm like, you guys been off. You need to win. I don't understand the mentality here. And, is it a leadership problem that we have? We think it is, probably. We don't have a coach that can demand, players to fall in line. He doesn't get their attention because he's too nice or too soft or too young or all the above. Too short, probably, as well. We've seen, I think, heard from our sister how short he is. I think she stood next to him. I think Sarah's taller than him. But the point is that we had some key guys in last week's game and key guys throughout the season who have underperformed. And some of them consistently underperformed. Quay Walker has been playing well most of the time. Last week, he did not play well, and we really needed him, and it hurt because that was another winnable game. When you look at the Packers season, right, only 2 wins. But we've had most of the games, aside from the Lions game, were all winnable games. Yep. All winnable games, and we're not winning them. And it's not just because we have a different quarterback. It's because the defense, which should be the strength and should carry you to some wins based on everything that's in it, is not performing to the level it should be. So I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know how to fix it because a lot of people thought it was the coaching. Just Joe. It's easy to blame Joe Barry, right? But I look at these players and I'm like, we got guys that aren't playing. We got plenty of guys that a lot of money are into and they're not playing. They're not available. And then number 2, when they're out there, they're underperforming. So I don't get it. Eric Gardner, if you were a top pick, or you were a high-priced guy, a veteran in the league, everyone tells you you're great, you think you're great, I know this isn't much of a stretch for you. I get it. Anyway, if that was what you thought, why the hell would you be playing passive, scared defense? I think for most of us, that is the biggest disappointment as Packers fans. Why the hell, if this defense thinks they're so good and all these guys are supposed to be so great, why do they play so soft? Why do they play so passive? Why are they not being aggressive and taking it to the other team? I cannot answer that question when I look at this team. And to me, that's the biggest problem.
It's a fair question. And honestly, it might be coaching. I'm just saying, because speaking from a perspective from the Vikings, we had Donatel, and now we have Brian Flores, who are about as opposite as you can be, right? We called him Donna Shell because he'd run his shell defense and play off and play soft coverage, and there was just nothing. He would never blitz, and it was just something that was so hard to watch because you have these players. There was obviously some flaws in the Vikings defense personnel wise, but they also had some really good players that just weren't making the plays they usually make. And I can tell you, Ben mentioned Harrison Smith earlier, and he said since Brian Flores has been here, he feels like he's been rejuvenated. Like he had a game where he had 3 sacks in one game because they're actually blitzing him because that's what he's good at doing, being down in the box. I don't know if you know, but last game against the 49ers, they played 3 safeties all game. So they have Cameron Bynum, who a lot of people know now because he was defensive player of the week and got 2 picks on Monday night as one safety, and then Harrison Smith, and then also Josh Metellus. So he's a Michigan Wolverine alum. And so those 3 safeties played every defensive snap against the 49ers. So just giving different looks, but those guys, Metellus can play some linebacker and Harrison Smith in the box. And, they're playing they blitz literally like 20% more than the next team than in the league. And it's super aggressive, and it's made a huge difference, even though the personnel really pretty similar. But the defense is, improved greatly, and they're getting more turnovers and they're getting more sacks. And Neil Hunter right now leads the league in sacks and leads the league in tackles for loss. So, and that's benefit because they're probably blitzing more. He's getting more one-on-one chances. So, I think the right scheme and the right coaching can make a big difference with your personnel. Because if they're being held back, that'd be my best guess.
Well, they did talk about it in the off season and coming into training camp, and the DBs all said they wanted to play more aggressively. Nice. What do you have there? Oktoberfest
Summit. Yeah.
I got a pumpkin lager. I usually don't.
Oh, okay.
This is
looks good.
Lakefront Brewing, and yeah, it was pretty good. But the defensive back said they wanted to play more aggressively. At times they have this year, but then again, they keep playing off at times inexplicably. And then we have, our one of the defensive backs who isn't available, and then Carrington Valentine, undrafted rookie who showed some promise early, getting to play in the last game, but not looking that good. He got beat pretty regularly. So I don't know what it all is, but we had questioned a number of things. We were supposed to be seeing a lot more penetration from the defensive linemen, and I don't see that.
Well, Kenny Clark will probably have his best week of the year this week.
He could. What
he does. I mean, Garrett Bradbury's gotten better, but I don't know. He's had kind of his number for years.
Well,
so
yeah, but I mean, look, man, plenty of people handle Kenny Clark every single week. So I think the Vikings got a chance here to do that, just like a lot of other people. Ben, I think you're muted. What happened? Come back.
You know who handled them last week?
Quinn Miners beat him up a little bit.
Quinn Miners handled them. I watched the All-22, and I mean, Kenny Clark didn't move an inch the entire game. It was pathetic. It was pathetic.
Well, he's a good
lineman. Sad.
UW Whitewater, right?
Hell yeah. Should be on the Pack. If the Packers, I'm just gonna say this now. I toot my own horn a little bit, but Viking Moe, if the Packers had drafted all the offensive linemen in the last 3 seasons that I wanted them to draft, instead of the offensive line being such a problem, it would be like our best part of our team right now. But maybe
sounds like they should hire you as a consultant.
I probably should be offensive line coach and
or maybe a draft
drafter.
Scout.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, and I don't even have to. And look at that, I did that from the privacy of my own home and the comfort of my own basement and wherever I was, knowing just by looking at some of these guys how good they would be and who they were good. I said draft Zion Johnson. They didn't want him. I said draft Dylan Parham. They didn't draft him. I said draft Creed Humphrey or Landon Dickerson, like Ben cleaved me onto him. I said draft Quinn Byners. If they had just made those picks,
that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, they would be awesome.
I mean, proof's in the pudding. You have it all on tape, right? Just send it into them. Maybe you'll get scouting offer. I would do it
anyway. I know O-line, so I don't know what you guys want from me.
Right?
It takes one to know. That's right. I was in the trenches. I know.
Smallest O-line ever.
Ben, what did you look up?
Nothing.
I thought you were looking up something.
Nah.
Oh no. Okay.
He just wanted to go off camera for a while.
No, I'm on camera. I'm looking at. I've got a bunch of Kenny Clark video I wanted to show.
Oh. You just looked. What do you got from last game?
I didn't have time to.
Was it from the Denver game? Yeah. I did watch a lot. I mean, when the Broncos were on offense, the Packers on defense, I did watch Quinn Miners a lot. He looked like he was doing pretty good. So he's a tough guy. I don't know what the NFL is weird though, right? Like it's kind of crazy. I mean, the Lions got their ass kicked last week, and we all think they're a tough team and a good team, and they just got handled. So teams can look good and then look like trash, and teams can look like trash and then turn it around. But Mo, you asked us if we have much hope, and I don't know if a lot of people in the chat haven't said they have much hope. It doesn't seem like it unless they figure out that they need to just basically run the ball up the gut and do a lot of play action off of that. They talk about doing that, but then they don't do it, and then they don't score any points. So Jordan Love is pretty good when he has a little time and a little space, and he can throw the ball over the middle of the field. If you're going to ask him to throw it to the sideline, perfect balls on the sideline, it's not going to work. If you're going to ask him to throw it in the flat all the time, that's not going to get you anywhere either. So I don't know. This coach, and Ben and I have talked about it, this coach, our coach, even though he's had all this success and all these wins, I mean, he might not survive after this year if he doesn't figure this crap out.
You can do play action even if you're not running well. It just seems to. I mean, the Vikings do it all the time. They like, okay, Kirk Cousins, he's going to drop back for his 45th pass attempt. Oh, play action because they haven't run the ball in 5 minutes. But it still works. Like, why does it still work? I don't get it. Like the whole old adage that you have to run the ball to set up the play action. Like, sure, it might work a little better, but I think if you just run play action, it's going to be better. And statistically, for years, the quarterback rating is always higher on play action passes. Always.
Yeah. I mean, if you
just run them.
Right. Yeah. And especially if you had Aaron Jones on the field and you were faking it to him, people would probably react to that, I would think.
Is he going to play this week? He was limited in practice. Didn't practice one day.
I hope so. He played last week.
I'm really afraid.
Are you trying to scout here, Mo? What are you doing?
Well, I guess I was just asking. It's just maybe viewers want to know. I don't know. I was just thought maybe you had inside information.
Aaron Jones is going to play because we need him to play.
We do need him. We absolutely need him for sure.
That's true.
Share this video. I got to show a couple awesome plays.
Oh, yeah. Defense playing assignment football, not in position to make plays often enough, just hoping for mistakes. Lee, the old Packer strategy. No, we can't play that way anymore like we talked about. Let's hope that changes. All right, what do you got here, Ben?
Okay, I just wanted to show a couple plays. So there's been comments that the Packers defense did not lose the game. There has been comments on PFF this week when they did the pre week 8 show or whatever, talking about the Vikings against the Packers. They said that Rashawn Gary has got the highest pass rush win rate in the NFL by a lot.
Wow.
Now he only plays on pass rushing downs. That might help you. Also, they said he's so great. Let's watch this play.
Can I say one quick thing before we get started on this defense?
Sure.
And that is, if anybody else who watched the game, there was one guy out of the linebacker group, I'm talking about inside linebacker, outside linebackers, who actually was doing a pretty damn good job and run around and doing his damnedest to do what he could, and that was Isaiah McDuffie.
He always is.
I was very impressed with Isaiah McDuffie. He is a small guy. He's not that fast, but he was like running around tackling people. The rest of these guys need to, if these other guys that are more talented and bigger play with the same effort that guy did, this defense would be doing something. All right, go on.
All right, if you got to be shared on the screen here. Can you see my cursor guy or no?
Yep.
Is it big or is it tiny?
It's tiny, kind of like.
God dang it! It's big on my screen. Why the fart? Anyways, okay. If you look at the,
it's similar to
right.
It's similar to something else. I think maybe when you're the way it appears to you, and the way it appears to everyone else.
No, not anymore.
Nowadays,
it's small to everyone else and small to me.
Oh man.
I never tell you when we had the very first ultrasound of our son, right? And they were like, oh, at first they're kind of looking at it and all this sort of stuff, and then they're like, oh yeah, oh no, it's a boy, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what? And they're like, you see that right there?
What do you?
And I was like, I'm like, oh, yep, it is my kid. So.
Dude. Why are you saying something like that?
This was a long time ago. This is at birth. I'm sure he's developed since then. I'm just saying.
I think we need to run the play.
All right. Anyway,
continue on. All right.
Let's watch Rashawn Gary on this play. This is going to be a run to the right. Okay. Run to the right. You're going to see. I think it might be the tight end who's coming across, and his job is to take Rashawn Gary. Okay. But he doesn't even have to block him. Because Rashawn Gary is not even looking at where the ball is. He's just looking at where the quarterback is. He learned this from Zadarius. Now, this is half speed, just so everybody knows what's going on. Let's watch the great Rashawn Gary over here. All right. So he sees the fullback coming at him, and he totally lets him go, right? Lets the fullback go because his responsibility, of course, is to hold the edge. There is nobody here to block him. This tight end, number 84, is going to come across the field to pick him up. Rashawn Gary has eyes on the backfield. But Rashawn Gary has eyes only for the quarterback. And there he goes. The tight end now has to come back to him to try to block him. Because he's like, wait a minute. Now, the tight end, if he was smart, he should have just ran like this. And he could have picked up Rasul Douglas way up here. This would have been like a 50-yard run.
Right, because he's so far out of the play, it doesn't matter.
Rashawn Gary is only looking, and even now, when he clearly sees Russell Wilson doesn't have the ball, he's still running to Russell Wilson. And of course, the tight end is like, I don't know. Tight end doesn't know what to do because he's supposed to block him over here. And then, of course, Keyshawn Nixon misses the tackle, or Savage, or whoever that is. And he gets 20, 30 yards. I don't even know how many yards on the play.
Wow.
And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Even if Rashawn Gary would have held the edge and stuck up the tight end, that would have slowed down the running back so that Keyshawn Nixon or Savage, whoever that guy, 25 or 26, I couldn't tell which one it was, would have at least slowed down the running back. There's no way it would have been a 24-yard, 30-yard gain. But Rashawn Gary is freaking clueless because he learned.
He was getting over there too.
Yeah, because he learned from the great Zadarius. But he's so great. We're going to pay him a bunch of money for that? For giving up. And people are like, why is the Packers defense giving up so many big runs? Oh, my God. The defensive line sucks. No. Our edge rushers only want to run against the quarterback because that's how they get paid, is to get sacks, because the NFL is stupid. And I'm starting to not even like the NFL anymore because it's so dumb. Now on this play we're going to watch, let's watch the great Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is not lined up anymore on Quinn Miners. He's now actually lined up in front of the left guard, not the right guard. So he's going to be second down from the screen. If you look at the top of the screen, you'll see Rasul Douglas in white at the top. Then you got Preston Smith along the line. Then you got Kenny Clark. Watch where Kenny Clark starts on this play and watch where Kenny Clark ends on this play. And this is half speed. So though it's not much difference than the speed that Kenny Clark plays at. Okay, look at that. He gets an initial rush.
That's good.
He pushes the guy back.
That's good.
Right? That looks really good. That looks pretty good, right? Now watch what happens. Preston Smith beats the left tackle, and he's over here messing with this up. The running back does not go there. He wants to cut inside. So Kenny Clark has pushed his guy back 4 yards, right? All he has to do is keep his eyes on the running back. And then he's going to have a tackle because Preston is forcing the running back to him. Let's watch what happens on this play. There's Kenny Clark. Totally oblivious to the running back. Has no clue that the running back was right there. He did a great job pushing that offensive lineman back 4 yards. Way to go, Kenny Clark. Just like when he plays Bradbury and he does his great job of beating the guy, and then he does nothing. So who gives a crap that he beats this guy? Now, if this was Andy Herman, he would have given a positive grade because he shoved the guy back so far. Oh, ho, ho. But watch. He's right there. No awareness. You might say that's holding. I don't know. But Kenny Clark makes $20 million a year as a defensive tackle. You think he could, I don't know, maybe get off the block? Maybe be aware of what's going on there? But there's nothing. And I don't know what the next play is. We could watch it, I guess, just because, I don't know. What the hey? Who knows what happens on this play? We just gave up 20-yard run to 12. Oh, Quay Walker.
Oh.
Quay Walker. Okay, we got
Quay Walker's one play that he made.
So, anyways.
Just like Gary made one play on the edge, and then you're like, oh, see, he plays the run. Remember the one play he made on that one running play, Ben, on the edge? But then you see the other plays he doesn't make.
So what I'm saying is we have these guys who are first-round picks who the Packers brass are telling us they're great. And the Packers reporters are telling us they're great. And all the fans hear that. So they say, oh, he's so great. He's so great. He's so great. And yeah, maybe Rashawn Gary is leading the league in pass rushing grade. But he's dead last in knowing what the fuck's going on when the goddamn ball's running. Maybe Kenny Clark makes $20 million because he can beat up a guy in front of him, a crappy offensive lineman. But then he does nothing after he beats the guy in front of him because he has no idea what's going on. And yeah, maybe Jair Alexander can cover a wide receiver half the time. But if there's a run that goes to his side, he's going to make a business decision and get out of the way. So you tell me, do you want any one of those three guys on your team, Mo, as a Viking? Do you watch the Vikings? Do they play that way on defense? Do they ole guys when it's a running play to the corner? Do they have zero awareness of the defensive tackle? And do they just go after the quarterback constantly and not worry about the run at all? Because that's what our guys do. But apparently they're the best at their positions because that's all the Packers keep telling us. That's all the reporters keep telling us. And then we, Jason and I, show people the truth. And then they're like, you guys are haters. You guys don't, you hate on our players. They're the best players. They're so good. No, they're the highest paid players on the team. They're all first round picks, but they suck because they're not football players. They're just guys. They're athletic guys who just run around and do nothing. And then you wonder, why do we have a 25-yard run against us? Why do we give up 12 yards on the very next carry? Because they suck. 2 plays in a row I just showed you. Just 2 random plays in the game in a row. Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary. Neither of them have no idea what's going on in the running game. Not a clue. And then you wonder why we're giving up 5.7 yards per carry in the NFL. We gave 140 yards to the Denver Broncos who can't run through a freaking paper mache. Well, paper mache is actually pretty strong. A wet paper to get a first down. But we could let them get 5.7 yards.
Wet toilet paper? Is that what you're going to say? Wet? Yeah. They can't run through wet toilet paper?
Wet toilet paper with the brand new Charmin. Have you guys seen the brand new Charmin? The wavy cut? I bought some Charmin last week and it had the wavy cut. And I'm going to tell you, seal of approval. I know my toilet paper, and that was a brilliant move. To put that wavy
why is
cut
the wavy cut?
paper.
Why? What's the wavy cut do?
You know what? I'm going to go get one because this is huge news. This is huge news, everybody. I'll be right back.
Oh, my gosh. Well, the good news for you, Jace, I think, and your viewers probably, except for the Jason guy who's commenting, who I know is a Vikings fan.
Okay.
I brought him to the broadcast. He saw that I was invited. He wanted to see. So there you go.
Thanks.
Extra viewer.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Trying to spread things out. So the good news is that the Vikings have not committed to the run pretty much in any game this season at all. I don't think Kevin O'Connell can help himself. He just wants to pass because he's former NFL quarterback, and he loves to pass. So the good news is, if you're having trouble with run defense, you probably won't have a problem this week because they won't try very much. So there you go.
But we're also having trouble with pass defense because we have one good cover guy that plays. And Keyshawn Nixon, we thought he was going to be pretty good. He's not good at covering guys. He's good at attacking plays out of zone and making tackles, but they have him play man a lot, and he's not good at man coverage. And then we got an undrafted rookie who was playing, and we got a useless first-round pick who got hurt again, who just came back. And then we got another older useless first-round pick who gets paid a lot of money, who gets hurt all the time, who thinks he's great, but he's not. And so our coverage is not that great.
Well, they're probably going to put Rasul Douglas on TJ Hawkinson, would be my guess.
Yeah, because he kicked his ass last year, and he'll keep kicking his ass.
And then they'll probably put Jair
he did.
on Jordan Addison, would be my guess as
Jair
well.
ain't going to play, dude.
Nope.
Is he not
playing again?
Is
he
he
ain't
not
playing.
Okay, so what, they'll put Stokes on?
No,
Jordan
Stokes is
Stokes
out.
is not IR, Mo.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We picked up the guy from Carolina's practice squad.
That's
I told
right.
you that. No, we got
That's
Carrington
right.
Valentine, who's actually pretty good, but they don't
Okay.
let him play. He's a big guy. He's not big, but he's pretty big. He's got really long arms. So he's really good when he can get a hold of a guy and smack him a lot across the line of scrimmage from him, which is what he
they
did
have
in
him play
preseason.
off.
But now they have him play off like 5 yards and it doesn't do anything. He gets beat all the time. It's really stupid. The whole team is stupid.
Okay.
So here, okay, hold on. Okay. Time for,
Back to toilet paper.
we're taking a break.
It is the poo show.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the Pooh Show. I don't even remember what I sang. Well, anyways, this is
It makes me laugh every time, whatever you sing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. This is a huge innovation. This is what the Packers need to do. They need to come up with some sort of innovation because they do not have the talent. Or maybe they have the talent, but they don't have the coaching to mold the talent. That's the other problem, Mo. We got a bunch of guys who stink, who can't coach at all. They're a bunch of idiots. That's besides the point. This, my friends, and you know who knows about this, Jace? You can talk to Dad about this. Dad hates toilet paper when it can't rip off right. He hates it. He thinks he has to use two hands. He thinks he has to hold it down and then rip it off instead of doing the. See, what I do it. I would always do like the hold. How did I do it now? I hold it and hold it and hold it and turn. Hold it and turn. Anyways, normally toilet paper's just got that straight cut. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk in Green Echo. Yeah, there you go. I'm not warmed up. All right. And look at this. Can you see?
Whoa, yeah.
I have a white background, so it's not probably the best.
That's okay. We can, yeah.
Look at that. See how that's got the wavy cut?
It has a wavy cut.
Watch this cut. Watch how I can tear it. So easy. Look at this. Oh my God! Did you hear that sound effect of the cut? Listen to that sound effect. Oh, Sharman! Sharman, you innovative.
Why does a wavy cut pull better than a straight cut?
I don't know. But
does it
does.
though? Does it?
Yes. How many times did you go to do it and then you couldn't rip it off right away and you ended up pulling way too much toilet paper and then you had, poopy fingers? It's bad.
What? Wait a minute. What? I would say you wasted toilet paper. I don't think we had the.
Why?
Look at that wavy cut, guys.
Is this a problem people have had? Do they really?
Yes. Ask Dad. Listen,
the hand strength to just rip.
Jason, go get Dad on the show right now. He'll tell you he has a hard time cutting it. Sometimes you get older, you don't have the finger dexterity you used to have.
What does it take much sticks to use grab and rip? It's not. There's no dexterity involved.
I'm telling you, everybody out there,
right.
Charmin, they should honestly hire me. I will do the commercials for you.
Oh.
You know how they always like, this guy is, he's not only
it should be a sponsor of the
he's
show.
a customer. He's a customer. Yeah, this is our show. Charmin.
He's also a member. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a member. He's, I don't know, but I bought this and I did it the first time and I saw the commercial for it and I didn't think that it was going to be that already. I thought, these commercials are
Lee says you just wasted it. He said some TP, Ben. And he also says
no. I can't
happy fingers. Well, that's a different kind of
anyways
poopy finger. Okay.
So seal of approval for me for the brand new wavy cut of Charmin. I mean, how many years have we been having toilet paper in this world? And now they finally did the innovation that we've all been waiting for, the wavy cut. Bam! Cut it. Send it to Charmin right now. Send us some money, Charmin. I'll do your commercials for you.
Man,
I think we lost all our viewers just now.
are you kidding? No,
I think
we
they're all
got
gone.
people are good. Your friend Jason, he said he doesn't mind it. He doesn't mind the TP talk.
No, I think he's talking about the coach of the Vikings and how he's aggressive.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty sure that's what he was talking about.
No, because Lee said TP talk on the P.O.O show, very fitting, LOL. And then Jason said, I don't mind it.
I don't mind.
But then shortly after that, he said, got to run, guys. See you later.
He's like, yeah, you guys are crazy. We'll see you later.
Sorry about that.
All right. So great add to the show, Ben. Thank you for that. And hopefully, I mean, at least you would expect that then we would get a sponsor out of the deal. So let's go, Charmin. Be the first official sponsor of the P.O.O show. Back to Viking Moe and Packer Talk. Viking Moe. So we don't really know much about the Vikings other than somehow they beat the 49ers. What do you think about this game? Can they beat the Packers in Lambeau Field in your estimation?
How
would they do it? How would they do it?
I think they can. I think they could also lose to them there, though. But I think number one, it comes down to they need to protect the ball. That's something they didn't do very well. They lost 7 fumbles in the first 3 games of the season. Since then, they've taken care of the ball a little better, not quite as egregiously. So it just really comes down to that. They had, a team like the Eagles that they could have won if they hadn't fumbled 3 times in that game, or at least been in that game. And then they take relatively good care of the ball against San Francisco and win the turnover battle there and win that game. So I think it depends. If the weather's not great, if they don't wear the right cleats, those sorts of things, if they don't at least try to commit to a run game in that environment, they might be in trouble. They can't win the way they beat the 49ers by throwing 45 times and expect in that environment, weather and things to do that. So I was a little concerned the first week they didn't have Jefferson. The offense was a little stagnant. They seem to respond a little better this week. They're using Hawkinson more, using Addison more now, and even someone like TJ some of their other receivers, P.O.O, who's been more of their punt returner, got a lot of play. So some guys are stepping up, which is great to see. Madison and now Cam Akers are kind of like a committee backfield. Madison hasn't played that great, especially in the passing game. So I think they're trying to sub things out a little bit better for people's strengths. I think the defense is very aggressive. It was interesting to see how a blitz happy scheme does against Jordan Love. He'll definitely know the blitz is coming. The thing about Flores is that he brings a lot of different blitzes. Sometimes he'll delay blitz. Sometimes, he'll blitz, but play a lot of zone behind it, not a lot of man. There's not a lot of zero blitzes that you might maybe expect from an aggressive defense. But most of his blitzes are 5 guys, sometimes 6, but most of the time it's 5 guys. And it's just where are they coming from? So it'd be interesting to see how Jordan Love responds to that. And I think that will be a key. Surprisingly, the Vikings run defense has been good. So they held McCaffrey to about 3.2 yards a carry, I think. And some of those pieces have been okay. They got run over by Philly because they kind of got worn down, and that offensive line in Philly is just brutal. So, but that game, that was really the only game they really struggled to stop the run. Otherwise, he's been pretty decent at it. So can they stop the run early, get into some obvious passing situations, put the Packers in those situations, not let them get into their play action game will be a key. Can guys like Addison and Hawkinson have a game like they had against San Francisco where they're getting open and making plays? I mean, Hawkinson, I think he caught 11 balls on 12 targets. That's pretty tough to maintain that. I think he'll have a little tougher matchup if they do put Rasul on him this week. So they'll need more from guys like Addison and maybe some of their other receivers on the depth chart as well. So we'll see. like to see them protect Cousins like they did last week. If they can keep doing that, that can only be good things. So,
well, Viking Moe, really quick, and then I'll let Ben go. Just a couple things. Fortunately for you, the Packers defense doesn't force many turnovers. So if that's been kind of a big factor for you, that you probably don't have to worry too much about that. Unless Kirko is dumb enough to keep throwing to Hawkinson 12 times, then he might have a couple of picks there because Rasul will be all over his ass. And then also the Packers have not been able to run the ball very well. So I would assume that your run defense would be just as good as it has been. Because, and if you run delayed blitzes, you will definitely confuse our center, Josh Myers, and probably a couple other guys in the offensive line as well, including Elton Jenkins, who's supposed to be so great, who allowed pressure right up, in Jordan Love's face too multiple times last game. So, anyway, I would say all those things will seem like they could happen in this game. Ben, what do you think?
Well, I have zero hope, to be quite honest. I don't see how we have a chance of winning this. Based on the injuries. No. What?
Aaron Jones comes back. They actually give him the ball.
No.
They run it, control clock. They do some play action.
You know what I see? You know what I see coming? I see Kansas City, Jordan Love's first start against Kansas City, where they blitzed them freaking like 90% of the time. I see this Brian Flores guy is going to just blitz the living snot out of us. And I know earlier in the show I said that, Jordan Love's passer rating is much better against the blitz. Well, that's fine. But I think if you watch JT O'Sullivan this week, he showed Jordan Love is getting jumpy in the pocket and he's running into trouble. There's times where he's sitting back there and he's got a good enough pocket where he can make the ball or throw the ball where he wants to if he just stays there. But he gets nervous because the offensive line's not doing so great. And he ends up moving kind of into trouble and then throwing balls like weird, like on one foot and off to the side. And I don't know, which works pretty good on intermediate passes. But those are some of these deep passes, like the touchdown pass to Romeo Doubs. If he would have just stayed where he was, it would have been a clean pass. Probably would have hit him in the corner of the end zone. Would have been a touchdown easy because Doubs had the guy beat by 3-4 yards. But instead, he got nervous, kind of moved up into Elton Jenkins' back, and then tried throwing it off of 1 foot, and then ended up being underthrown. And then Doubs had to go up and rip it away from the defensive back. And then it was a simultaneous catch, which went to the Packers for the first time in the history of all time. Usually they get screwed by that. But, this time it was actually called Packers ball. So that's good news. So anyways, what I'm saying is this. I said this last week. I said I'd give Matt LaFleur one more week. Show me some innovation. Show me a reason to believe. There's a song by one of my favorite bands called Breathe. It's off their first album. It's called How Can I Fall? It's about a guy who's dating this girl. She's beautiful. She's nice. She's like the perfect girl. But for some reason, she won't give him a reason to fall. He just doesn't fall in love with her. And that's what Matt LaFleur is doing right now. He's a nice guy. He seems like he's pretty smart. Like he was 13 and 3 his first 3 years. His eyebrows, he really trims them well. He's kind of got big ears, but that's hereditary. You can't help that. Fired about it. And his beard is getting a lot grayer. Almost looks like mine now. Probably because of this season's messing with his hair color. But what I'm saying is this. How could I fall for this guy when he's not giving me any reasons? Give me some cool plays. Take it and make it easy for this guy. Matt LaFleur only knows two things, Mo. He knows if he runs routes, if it's 3rd and 3, he runs everybody 20 yards deep. Don't know why, but it shows up on the all-22. He runs 3 guys 20 yards deep, and then 2 guys just go sit in the flat 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So they have like 5-6 yards to go to get the first down. And that's his play call. Not a good play call. He likes to run screen passes. There's a play from the other day where Josiah DeGuara sneaks out of the backfield and runs up on a wheel route. And it looks like it's a wheel route. And within 2 seconds, Jordan Love throws a screen pass to Luke Musgrave. and Josiah DeGuara is 10 yards downfield blocking a corner, because that's immediately what he did, was went to go block the corner. It was not a wheel route. Now, if he has a wrinkle on that play where it turns into a wheel route by Josiah DeGuara this week, where it looks like it's going to be a screen pass to the tight end, but our fullback sneaks out and moves to the second level and get the corner, and the corner thinks he's going to get blocked, and then Josiah keeps going. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's a cool play. That would make me fall in love. But I can't. How can I fall in love with Love when his quarterback coach and his head coach aren't giving us a reason to fall in love with Love? I can't do it. I just can't do it. The only thing I'm in love with right now are these wavy toilet paper squares. This is the only thing I love. They're soft. Look at the curves, just like a nice lady. It's
not a square anymore,
everything
though.
you could ever dream of. It's better than a square. It's better. And I want to see something better than these toilet paper freaking new cuts, these wavy cuts. I want to see innovation from Matt LaFleur this week.
Have you talked yourself off the ledge from last week where you're calling for Sean Clifford, birthday buddy, to come in?
No, I'm still calling for it.
You still want
it? And I will tell you why. Because I've lost faith in Matt LaFleur. My hope was that we would see 2019 Matt LaFleur offense. Because gradually Aaron Rodgers took over and turned it into the Aaron Rodgers offense more than what we thought. And now it's painfully obvious that whatever happened in 2019 maybe it had more to do with Aaron Rodgers than Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, out of all, I want you to think about this. Out of the Mike Shanahan tree, so it starts with Kyle Shanahan, right? Sean McVay.
Yep.
The guy over with the Eagles. The guy with the Bengals. The guy in Miami. The defense coordinators from the Shanahan tree. Robert Saleh. The guy from Houston now. All these guys. The guy in the Vikings. They're all from that same Shanahan McVay tree. And so is Matt LaFleur. And at this point, Matt LaFleur is the weakest coach of all those guys. Every one of their teams has gone through adversity like the Bengals have. They're coming out on the other side right now. Houston Texans, they're supposed to be stinkier than crap. They're out there busting their butt every single week. They're not winning games all the time, but they're working it and they're showing you things. The Eagles, of course, are the Eagles. The 49ers just got beat with the Vikings. Otherwise, they were awesome. The Vikings are making a turnaround. All these different teams. Miami, obviously, Mike McDaniel is freaking going crazy. I mean, they scored 70 points against Denver, right? And our offense can't even score a damn point, Mo. We scored 6 points in the last 3 first halves. Combined, Mo.
And giving up 63.
Points.
It's not good. It's not good.
How can I fall for that guy when we can't even score a damn point in the first half, Mo? So until I see some innovation like these wavy squares, I will not believe in Matt LaFleur. I will not believe in this Packer team to get a win. He's got to prove it to me now. I will pick them to lose every game until I see some sign of life in the first half. Because up to this point, the last 4 weeks, the Saints game, the Lions game, the freaking Raiders game, and the freaking Broncos game, we had 0 life in the first half. 0 life. We got lucky against the Saints where we scored a bunch of points when we ran the 2-minute offense where Matt LaFleur didn't even know what the hell was going on. He said after the game, I don't even know what happened out there. They were just doing whatever the hell they wanted. And that's right. They did whatever the hell they wanted. Jordan Love was just calling plays. And like, you run over here, you run over there. And they scored enough points and they won. Matt LaFleur had no clue what was going on. Give me some wavy square innovation, Matt LaFleur, and then I will fall. But until then, I ain't falling for this crap. I'm on to you, man. You're not that good. You're not that good. And I don't trust you. So I picked the Vikings to win. Probably a blowout. They're probably going to kick the snot out of us. But you never know.
You never do know. That was beautiful, Ben. I'm kind of in awe. I'm in awe. That was beautiful.
I'm one of the best speech givers of all time.
I don't know how you made toilet paper seem so eloquent, but you know,
it is.
You did it. You tied it all together, Ben.
Very well done.
I'm sorry. I'll never doubt you again.
There you go.
You should never doubt me. I have one skill in this world is to talk a bunch of crap and eventually get somewhere with it. That's the only thing I can do.
The other concerning thing is Matt LaFleur has had no answers.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing.
Because they ask, he'll be asked, why couldn't they do anything? Why couldn't they score any points? And he's like, well, if I knew that, then we would have scored some points. So Eric, and it's not even like it's a 4-game trend, and he still has no answers. So until he surrenders, whatever play calling to his quarterback or whatever, or just says, well, screw it, do whatever, guys, or let's go 2-minute offense where I'm not involved, they don't do anything. So he also has no answers. Apparently he reviews all the tape. Apparently he looks at what they did. Apparently every week he's like, I got to look at what we're asking these guys to do. And it's still the same result. So yeah, I'm with you, Ben. I have lost a lot of faith in him. I don't know what to expect. We don't have a lot of faith in most of these coaches. And we don't have players that are strong enough to, I guess, figure out what to do on the field. So, God, I hate to say it, but I think the Vikings are probably going to win this game too.
All you need is some kind of hope, like some kind of a play. Yeah. Like last week, our best play, Mo, of the whole game, defense and offense, was a pass by our rookie wide receiver in the 5th round. That was our best play. A 10-yard pass by our rookie receiver. It was our best, most exciting play last week.
Well, it's a fun play.
He's left-handed too.
Oh wow! See,
yeah,
look at that.
Well, I take that back. The other exciting play was when Jordan Love drilled 100 miles an hour, a 5-yard pass to Romeo Doubs in the end zone, and then he bounced off his hands and bounced in the air, and then it fell right to Jaden Reed's hands right behind him.
I saw that.
That was a pretty exciting play too, but that was luck. The one I'm talking about with Dontavian Wicks was actually skill. By the way, we need to see more of that guy. That guy's a football player.
Yeah.
That guy is like a Micah Hyde type guy. I like him. He needs to be in the field more. If he plays more, we might have a chance. If we can get him, Aaron Jones, I don't know. We don't have nobody else who's any good. I don't really. I'm John Madden right now. I have no idea what to tell you.
I think Reed looks pretty good.
Nah, he drops a lot of balls, man.
Does he?
Yeah, well, he does. He only caught that one because it was already slowed down by Romeo Doubs. Otherwise, he would have dropped it.
It's easy to turn things around. Winning fixes literally everything. And during the Vikings' tough start, the fumbles, right? TJ Hawkinson had a ton of drop balls, and so that's
because he was too busy holding all that money he just got.
I guess so, right? Yeah, it was very frustrating, right? But now then he has a great game against San Francisco. I'm like, can you turn it around? Do you have like it's a bit of a mental toughness thing to be able to overcome some of those things like drops and turnovers and bad plays. Can you have a short memory? Can you make a play and turn it around? Can you give up a interception because you didn't fight for the ball and then later in the game rip it away and get a touchdown out of it? You can overcome these things if you have the mental fortitude and you just don't quit. And some of that you can point to coaching, right? But some that just comes from inside the player, and you have to have the right players to do that.
Yes, Mo, and we don't have them. I just showed you Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark earlier. We don't have the players. They don't have that mentality like Jordan Addison has. And that's the other thing. Your losses that you had were because your guys did dumb stuff, like fumbles and picks and other dumb crap. We're losing because we can't do anything. It's not like we're moving the ball and then doing something stupid. No. We can't even move the ball.
Yeah.
We have a play where our quarterback makes a perfect pass and the guy drops it. We have another play where the guy runs a perfect route and he's wide open by 10 yards and Jordan Love misses the throw. We have another play where the field opens up and Jordan Love runs through and we call holding on our number 1 Pro Bowl offensive guard. So it's like, if it's not this guy, it's this guy. It's this guy. It's this guy. Every play goes wrong, and it's a huge mistake by one player, and it's never usually the same player do it, except for Josh Myers. It's never usually the same player doing it over and over again. It's like this guy, screws up this one, but then that guy screwed up that one, and there's never a play where all 11 guys actually do what they're supposed to do and make it work. And because of that, there's not a lot of hope. At least you saw things happen. You saw Kirk O'Chains is the number 2 accurate quarterback in the NFL, according to PFF grades. That's pretty positive.
It's true. I mean, there's some positive things, and that's, I think, it does give a little hope, right? And I think, I saw something about Jordan Addison. He's the only one to not drop a pass this year on the team, on all his targets, and not bad for a pick that Ben didn't like very much. Yeah, and
oh my God, Mo. I don't like. If you haven't noticed, I don't like wide receivers very much. I always think they're bad picks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't crazy about it. I thought they had other needs too, but I'm just glad he's working out well enough to do some things. So, but I'm hoping for an exciting game. And I'm sorry. This is it's hard for me to see you guys this way. I'm not used to seeing you guys this way. Usually there's swagger and you're talking how your wide receivers are bigger than our linebackers and those sorts of things. And, I just,
they're not anymore. They're not anymore, Mo.
Maybe not, but it's hard for me to see you this way. It's like the fun part about the rivalry, right, is that there's a rivalry because there's that competitiveness and that, and things. And I'm still kind of hoping for that. And while a blowout is always fun, it's, for your guys' sake, I just hope it's a fun game.
In my opinion, if we see some consistency, some innovation on the offense, I don't think we're going to win. But at least if we show some fight and show that we actually know what the hell we're doing on the field, that's a plus to me, even if we don't win this game. Unlike the Vikings, who at the start of their season, they kind of had a really hard schedule. So their losses, and that's probably the worst part, is a lot of your losses that you were against teams you were picked to lose to. But if you wouldn't have done dumb fumbles and stuff, you would have won the games. The Packers had an easy schedule at the beginning of the year. And they blew it because they just couldn't freaking get out of their own way, like constantly. Like they couldn't do anything. And now their schedule is going to start getting tougher. I mean, we got Kansas City to see yet. And we got the Chargers, who, they're 2-5, but they're like the most scary 2-5 team in the history of all time. Mm-hmm. So it's like, we got to see those guys and other teams like that. Like we played the 2 crappy teams from the AFC West and we lost to both of them. Now we got to play the 2 tough, scary ones. And we're definitely going to lose to them. There's 4 losses right there already. Plus we got to play the Lions again. The Vikings in Minnesota, that's probably a loss for sure.
How the hell did we lose to the Raiders and the Broncos? Come on.
I don't know, but it's a lot of losses Broncos. And it's a lot of scary crap.
Yeah. And not only that,
we also got to play Baker. We got to play Baker. That's what I forgot to say.
Yeah. Oh, Baker.
Get Bakered.
Mo got Bakered. And you know what the Packers need to do? They need to sign Baker Mayfield after this year. Because I think he's only got a 1-year contract with the Buccaneers. I'm not, listen, nobody else is going to want him. But what they need to do, we need a guy with some moxie. That's why I said Sean Clifford. I don't think Sean Clifford's any Gardner Minshew, but he's tearing up with the Colts. They got screwed by the refs. Did you watch that game at the end?
Yeah,
they got screwed by the refs big time. Big time screwed by the refs. But who am I to judge on screw? I'm not official. Mo's the official.
Don't make me put on the.
All right, we won't do it again. But what I'm saying is this: I want to see some Baker Mayfield or some Sean Clifford because it's just a guy who will take a shot. Jordan Love is scared, man. Jordan Love doesn't want to make a mistake anymore because he's following Aaron Rodgers and he's like, oh, I can't be throwing picks. So he's not playing like he should be playing. It makes me miss Brett Favre. That's how sad this is.
Oh, speaking of which, can I say this? Do you know a little trivia? The last Packer quarterback to beat the Vikings, not named Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. Who is it?
Don Majkowski.
No.
Anthony Dilwig.
No.
Blair Keel.
No.
Randy Wright.
No.
Lynn Dickey.
I can tell you that this quarterback's better known as a Chicago Bear and maybe a Pittsburgh Steeler because that's where he spent most of his career. He only played 1 year for the Packers.
Mike Tomczak.
Yes. Mike Tomczak in 1991.
I forgot Mike Tomczak was even on the Packers.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Last one. There you go.
That's a terrible stat. In fact, Mo, thank you for that.
Well, it could change this year. You have a new quarterback, so
Sean Clifford. I don't
Sean
know. Maybe
Clifford.
it's time for birthday, buddy.
Time
He's a
for
winner.
Sean Clifford.
He's a gamer.
If we come out the first half at home and play like that again with can't get any points, I want to see Sean Clifford second half.
well, to your point, I think what you want is, I think what most fans would want. I mean, I think when the 49ers came in to US Bank Stadium, the Vikings had yet to win a home game this season. I'd lost 3 already. So
Whoa,
I think there was some of that. It is bad, right? And so they kind of came in like, hey, we want to win a home game. We want to win in prime time. We want to beat this team. They're really physical. They matched it. And I think I just really hope they can kind of keep what they found there and build on it and stay physical, because when they played physical, they actually played pretty well, right? But I think from a Packers perspective, you'd want the same. You'd want, hey, our season's kind of on the line here. They're coming. It's the Vikings. We hate them. They're coming to Lambeau Field, where we should win in front of our fans, and they should. I would expect them as a Vikings fan to bring their best effort and bring everything they got into this game. It would be my take.
You know,
I mean,
Mo,
I would have thought
you
they would
sound
have
more like
given
a
that
Packer
last
fan than
week.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would have given it last week, coming off a bye, off a terrible loss to a bad team. I mean, where was it last week? And they just look flat as hell. And even, like I said, guys that are supposed to be guys we need to be difference makers, we're looking flat. It was so disjointed last week. I was so disappointed with last week's game. I can't even get over it. Viking Moe, question for you, does Daniil Hunter ever line up on the right side of the defense?
No.
Pretty rarely. He tends to go against what would be the other team's right tackle.
Okay, if I were him, I would lobby hard to line up on the right side consistently and go against
Zadarius Smith would do that.
Yeah.
You know what scares me about this game, though?
He'd be beating Rasheed Walker left and right.
Mo said the Packers would want to get a win in front of their fans. You know what scares me? The Packers would look so bad. I'm wondering how many Vikings fans got tickets for this game.
Ooh,
Probably a lot.
Like I'm wondering how much purple is going to be in the freaking stands, and it scares the crap out of me, because this is the one thing about, and I don't want to say this. Maybe we have some listeners who are Packer.
You're gonna call out the young Packer fans?
I'm going to call them out because they don't. It's not the same. In the 80s, the team was crap, and the stadium still sold out, and it was all Packer fans, and it was crazy people going crazy. And nowadays, the people who have the money, who can actually afford the tickets that are going to these games, they're fair weather fans. They don't have the same juice. They don't have the same energy that's needed to make Lambeau as scary as it used to be. There used to be a time when teams feared going to Lambeau. And then we had Michael Vick show up and kick our butts in a playoff game. And after that, the mystique is gone. And it's only gotten worse and worse and worse.
You know, I think that's happening a lot of places, though. I think across the league, they're just seeing a lot of other teams' jerseys in the stands, and I don't know what it is, if it's, what's kind of changed some of that. But I mean, so I couldn't go to the Viking Kansas City game, but we were able to sell our tickets for like 3 times their face value, and like, if you can't go to the game, you can sell it for that. Why? Maybe it was Kansas City fans. I don't know. Maybe it's the Taylor Swift effect. I have no idea. But it's just something where you're just seeing more of that. Like, they're just seeing, hey, my team's in town. I don't live in, where the team is anymore. So if they come in to play the team that in the city I'm living in, I want to go to that game. And they just, I don't know. And then some teams do travel a little bit, but I think you're seeing it more over. But I did hear on the radio today that something like lower level Lambeau tickets for this game are like going for like $110, which is pretty cheap for lower level seats. So I mean, there might be something to it too. Maybe people are just trying to cash out.
Well, I think it's, I mean, people don't want to sit through a game, especially because the first 2 home games we watched them and they were terrible. You know what I mean? Like they looked disjointed, couldn't do anything. And I mean, we won the Saints game, but for 3 quarters, the fans were like, it was bad.
Yeah.
And then we played the Lions and got just smoked. So far, the Packers fans, we've only had 2 home games, and both of them, there's only been 1 quarter worth of football that actually looked worth paying money to actually see. So if I'm a Packer fan with tickets, I mean, I could see that. I could see us, especially Vikings fans. That the drive from Minnesota is not very far. It's easy to sell those tickets.
Yeah.
And so I missed the game. If and a lot of them probably kind of feel like me. I don't know if they have faith in this team anymore. So if they can make an extra couple bucks, not have to deal with going all the way to Lambeau and all the crap, sell them for freaking 2 times the price, or apparently cheaper than it is, or whatever. Only 110. I don't know, but
Crazy.
Still, even still, I can understand that. But also, when they are there, it seems like the fans are, and maybe it's just a different world, right? People are different. There's so many other things to stimulate you in this world with all this freaking, online crap and everything else going on all over the place. And that leads to, going to a game. Sometimes watching at home is actually better. I mean, your view is sometimes better. You don't have to deal with like beer spilled on you and crazy idiots around you and all this other dumb stuff. But, it just seems like the world has changed a lot and the fans have changed a lot. And one of the biggest things that helped the Packers at home was the fact that in that goofy bowl that we have with those stinking bench seats, the worst seats in all of sports to sit on, the fans were like really tight in together, and it felt like you were as one, as a Packer team, helping the team win. And now it's like it doesn't have that same mystique, and I don't know if it'll ever come back. And that's the scariest part, because it's the one stadium that still is like that. It's the one stadium that is still, it feels like a high school game or a college game with those crappy seats and everything's all built tight in together. And it just doesn't have the same feel as it used to have. And that hurts, because let's face it, this team is not the greatest. But if you have a bunch of fans behind you, maybe that can build you up. The key thing is we need these guys to give us a reason. How can I fall? Breathe. Once again, give me something to cheer for as a fan. Give me something to galvanize a team. Give me a play, Matt LaFleur. Give me a Dontavian Wicks play. I don't care. He's the only guy who apparently can do anything. Maybe he'll make a play. And then the Vikes might be screwed. And then make the Viking fans sad that they spent that money and came all the way there. That's what we're waiting for. I still think they're going to lose. Okay, here's my score. Vikings 27, Packers 12.
12.
They're gonna get creamed. We're gonna have 4 Anders Carlson field goals.
Anders,
yeah.
He's great. At least we got a good kicker.
They're not going to do that. Matt LaFleur went for the 4th down inside the 10-yard line last week. He's never going to
kick the ball.
Yeah, you're right. What am I talking about?
Man,
they ain't going to have 12.
The Vikings are.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
One more time for a moment.
Look, man.
Listen,
the Vikings are the Packers.
You guys just said Vikings at the same time? Is that what happened?
I was on a previous show with you.
Oh, I don't know if I remember that.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Synergy.
Well, I don't know. I'm bad at score predictions. I don't really understand how. I don't know. I can't get my mind to work for score predictions. But I'll agree with the 27 for the Vikings. But I think it's going to be 27-17.
Just a little blowout.
Well, I mean, for the Vikings, that would be a blowout because that would be a 2-score win, which they're not really used to getting. But we'll see.
Vikings 28, Packers 10.
3. See, that's what I said.
10?
Almost.
Wow.
10.
Lee says 30-22.
Vikings have been really bad in the red zone. Really bad. They won't have 4 touchdowns.
Packers can make it look good.
They settle for field goals a lot.
Packers are really bad on defense in the red zone.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
No, it's not, Mo.
I mean, for me, it is.
All right. Well, I think. What happened?
Lee's even picking the Vikings. David, give us some
22.
hope. David, do you still believe? Sorry we missed you last week, David. Couldn't do a show. Hopefully you're doing okay down in Mississippi. Taking care of yourself.
We got to. I don't know how to cheer anybody up. How can we cheer people up? We got to cheer these guys up.
You already did the whole toilet paper thing, David. You got to go back and watch
Right.
the toilet paper.
You
That was
gotta
the
watch the
highlight of
toilet
show.
paper thing.
Then I'll
It
show you
was-
again.
It was a toilet paper soliloquy, is what it was. Is something else.
Single ply, double ply, double ply.
That's
Does
double.
that also prevent that whole like offset where the plies don't line up because you have that wavy thing, or does that not matter?
I don't think the
I
wavy
don't-
thing matters at all. I don't think there's anything about the wavy thing that matters.
I don't know. I haven't actually studied it that much, but maybe next week. It's definitely 2-ply though, because I'm breaking it apart here.
David says it. He still believes.
Oh, wow.
21-17 Packers. Go, David. David, there you go. There you go. If the Packers run the ball a bunch, and if Aaron Jones plays and gets more than 15 touches,
Give Aaron Jones the ball as much as possible. That's what I would
yeah.
do.
I mean, if they give Aaron Jones the ball, they could win, right, Ben?
I'm waving the white flag. It's over.
Come on, David still believes. You know, Aaron Jones has been the spark for years. So if Aaron Jones somehow makes a big play, or Aaron Jones
will probably sprint. He'll sprint before the game, and then they'll be like, "Oh, can't go. Sorry."
Oh, that would be amazing.
No,
That's
Viking
what they did a
Moe.
couple weeks
Just
ago.
this week. Just this week. I'm sorry.
Why? We've had enough Aaron Jones down in the
Aaron
game.
Jones is too good. He needs to not play.
There's a play on Sunday, Mo. It was 3rd and 2, or something like that. It's a run to Aaron Jones. There's 2 Broncos, 3 yards in the backfield. Aaron Jones stretches it out to the outside, makes both of them miss, and squeaks up the sidelines to get the 2 yards.
He's good.
I mean, he should have got tackled twice for a loss of 5 yards.
Yeah.
But somehow, because the guys weren't blocking worth of shit, and then he, made all those guys miss, and he's awesome. Aaron Jones, and that was, so on the stat sheet, it was a 2-yard run for a first down. But in reality, it was like the best, most beautiful run of the game.
It makes a huge difference. Plays like that.
Yeah. If it was A.J. Dillon, he would have been tackled within 1 second and fell on his butt, tripped over his own feet, fell down for a 5-yard loss. We have a new guy, Emmanuel Wilson, who's not too bad. He's not too bad.
He looked better last week. He
looked pretty good.
More opportunities.
Yep, he should have.
All right. I'm tired of these snap counts for these guys too. They're playing. Like, don't give me, he's on a snap count and all this dumb crap. I'm sick of it. Sorry, David, but that's not on you. But I'm just saying I don't like it. And I think these guys got to play. If they're active, get them in the freaking game. If they're important players, they play. If they get hurt again, they get hurt again. But we suck without them, so get them in the freaking game. They're getting paid money. Play them.
All right, I'm done talking Packers. Time for the real talk.
See, sorry. What
time for this. Time for the saviors of this season.
Oh,
It's Dame time, Mo. Dame time. The Bucks traded away one of their useless players that everybody thinks is good. They still got the other one, but he only last night. Did you see that? Milton only played 15 minutes and I had like 5 shots.
Yeah.
I hope that happens for the rest of the year.
He's getting paid a lot of money though for that, but yeah.
They should have never signed him back. He opted out of his contract. They should have let him go somewhere else. It was stupid. Anyways, Milwaukee Bucks championship again this year. Damian Lillard. I have not seen a Buck do some of the stuff he was doing last night ever. He was doing some Kobe Bryant stuff.
He's good.
There's a guy. He just like pop like from behind the 3-point line, a guy in his face, and he's just like, I'm gonna shoot a 3. And he just pops up and drains a 3 with a guy right in his face. I'm like, what? He was good around the basket. He was moving. No, he can't play defense, but hey, that's okay.
Right.
We'll figure it out. We got Brook Lopez and Giannis to clean up some mess, get some blocks down there. It's okay if he doesn't play defense that great. But that was some nice wins. I'll say this though. That Joel Embiid guy, holy crap, he's hitting every damn 3-pointer.
Yeah, he's
good.
Draining 3s left and right. I was like, holy crap. Like they had a huge lead, and the next thing I knew, there was like 3 Sixers. Every time they'd shot a 3, it'd go in. And next thing you know, it was tied. And I was like, what the hell happened? But anyways, great win for the Bucks opening night. Really happy for Griffith, or what's his last name? Griffin or Griffith, the coach?
Griffin.
Oh, he's doing much better than Budenholzer because Budenholzer would have played Middleton like 30 minutes last night.
I know he played Jay Crowder a lot more.
All right, well, Jay Crowder is freaking good.
I know he hit a timely 3.
He did.
And,
It was timely. And who passed him that ball?
I don't remember.
Who got the assist on that play? Bobby Portis, baby.
Bobby.
Right.
See,
this Bucks team is bringing me back to life. I like this Bucks team. It's a good team.
Was nice. It was nice seeing a point guard who could shoot, because we haven't had a point guard who could shoot in a long time. A guy with the ball in his hands that could shoot, and wasn't going to be sloppy and turn over and be a dumb shit. So that was nice, and that was a big difference.
17 from the free throw line too.
Free throws. We need a guy who can make free throws, and that's another guy. So no. And last night's matchup was tough because Embiid is tough matchup for Lopez. It takes him away from the basket a lot, and that takes away his help defense. So yeah. And the Sixers actually were a better team with James Harden not there. So
oh my God, yeah. If Harden would have been there, we would have killed him. Yeah, we would have beat him by 30 points. Like the best thing for Philadelphia is that Harden wants out. They can trade him for a piece of gum, and they'll freaking do better.
Those other guys that played were hitting shots, and
that Maxwell at number 0, he was hitting crazy shots. Yeah, it was crazy. That was a great game.
Still pulled it off, man. Still did it.
What about the T-Wolves?
They lost. They lost.
Oh,
to the Raptors. No, it's I don't know. I don't know when they're gonna, if they need to blow this team up or if it's just a Karl Anthony Towns things. I mean, he was terrible, and the guy's 7 feet tall, but still doesn't like to defend, and he's basically just a big old 3-point shooter, and he's pretty good at it. But last night, the other night, he couldn't hit anything. He just didn't have his shot, and then, Anthony Edwards tries to like be a superhero, and sometimes he is, and sometimes he isn't. He scored like the first 10 points of the game, and he can do that. And he's, he can defend too, but I like some of the pieces they have, but Jaden McDaniels didn't play. He's still hurt, and which is frustrating. You start the season, the guy is not even available. I'm like, really? Can't you just be healthy to start the season? I don't know. Seems crazy, but so I don't know. We'll see. It's just a little frustrating right now, and I think most of it's around, Karl Anthony Towns. And he feels like he should get superstar treatment, but he doesn't, and he shouldn't, and he's really not that good. So,
that sucks, Bo. But you know what? I don't care. Yeah. Because I know you think you feel bad that we're all miserable. I just laugh whenever the Viking fans and the T-Wolf fans are miserable. I think it's funny.
Wow, that's mean.
But I do root for the twin fans.
Oh, that's interesting. Why is that?
Because I hate baseball. I don't care anymore.
Oh, okay.
I learned that when the Cubs won the World Series and I felt nothing, that I don't care about baseball anymore.
Gotcha.
Because I was a Cubs fan, and all of a sudden I was like, eh. So I realized, the Twins can win. I don't care.
The Cubs World Series win was amazing. That Game 7 was just,
I know. I watched it live. And I felt nothing.
I was thinking the whole time, like, wow, if I was a Cubs fan, I'd be freaking out right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I was almost kind of freaking out for him anyway, like just vicariously. But I don't know. That one was awesome. But I'm glad your Bucks are doing well. It's always good. I think when the start to the Viking season was so bad, at least had the Twins in the playoffs. They won a playoff series, which was exciting to see, and things. So it always helps to have other teams that you can root for in these times.
See, the last time I felt something for a baseball game was when Luis Gonzalez, I can't remember if he scored or if he got the hit that won the World Series for the Diamondbacks that year with Mark Grace. Him and Mark Grace were both on the Diamondbacks team that won the World Series. Remember that?
That's a long
time. It was the last. I know. I was living with those two girls on that one street.
Is that 2001? I want to say.
Yeah. It was right before I got married. It was the year before I got married. Because I was engaged, and Moe and Ekis always wanted to come over to my apartment and hang out with me because I had two girls I was living with.
Yeah, that's right.
Ekis would call me up and be like, hey, Ben, how's it going? I'm like, hey, Ekis, what's up? And he'd be like, is Sarah there? And I'm like, no, she's out. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I'll talk to you later. And he hang up. I'm like, really, Ekis? You freaking jerk. You just called to see if my freaking roommate was home, and then you're gonna
course
come
I
over.
did.
And if she wasn't there, you were like, "See ya." What a
I came to hang out with you, Ben.
yeah, I know. Well, we hung out a lot that year. That was a good year.
Did. It was fun.
Well, I will say this about Wisconsin fans and all this. Here's the thing with Wisconsin sports: the Badgers, football and basketball, always disappoint. Always disappoint. High expectations. Oh, this is going to be the year. This year's different. Nah, it's always the same. The Packers, for the last 30 years, yeah, they won 2 Super Bowls, but every other year it was always the same. Let down, crushing blow, it's dumb crap, play like garbage in the playoffs, whatever it is. Meet a physical team and lose, and that was it. The Brewers, oh, we get all excited about the Brewers. No. The Bucks is the team. Like, the Bucks is our one team who's actually good, who actually is consistently good, does something, plays hard. So Wisconsin fans, just get on board. I don't care if you say you don't like basketball or you don't like the NBA or what. I don't care. It's our one team that's actually good. Jump on the wagon.
There's a lot about the NBA that's like not to like, but it is a pretty exciting time, I think, for the Bucks. I mean, to get someone like Lillard to pair with the Greek Freak is pretty awesome. So
they scored 118 points, Viking Moe. Remember games back from 20 years ago when teams score 80 points?
Yeah.
Do you remember those games? The whole game, 80 points. Eric.
I like those games better.
You like those games better?
I did, because people actually play defense. There's not enough two-way players anymore. Now it's just like, oh, we'll let them score. We'll score when we have our turn with the ball. Like, no one plays defense. I just like watching defense. I don't know about that.
I think a lot of these guys have gotten really good at hitting outside shots.
Sure. I mean, I think there's certainly talented scorers, but I don't think there's also some talented scorers that don't play defense at all. Like, they're liabilities.
Sure.
And I think it just makes it really easy to score. So I don't think that's as fun as scoring against a tough defense. And I don't know. I almost like watching the college game better because everyone is a little bit more on the same level of ability wise, and most, especially in the tournament and things, but they're all trying on defense. Like, to me, most of in the NBA, it's like an effort thing on defense. Like, they just don't care until like playoff time, like they use, it's like, who is it? Like, it's like opposite of Ben, right? When he plays basketball, like, he just sometimes won't run down on offense because he wants to save his energy for defense. And in a way, I can respect that.
I was tired, old, and not very good at offense. So
you stay back and you're like, hey, I'm going to use all my energy on defense. But no one in the NBA thinks that way. They're like, I'm going to spend all my energy on offense and score points because that's how I make money. And then I'll just dog it on defense because no one cares. So that's how I feel about it. The NBA is almost unwatchable in some games. I feel like it's just like, what are we doing? It's like it's like we're playing horse. You shoot, I'm not going to try to block it, and then I'll go shoot, and we'll see who makes the most. I don't know. That's what it feels like.
No, that's because they shoot too many dang threes.
Well, you have to shoot.
That's what makes it boring.
That's how the game's change. You have to shoot.
I know,
but they space the floor a lot more, so there's a lot more ground to cover. Number one. And number two,
you have the ability to space the floor. Yeah.
A bunch of these guys, 7-footers, whoever, have gotten good at shooting from the outside. So you got to give them credit for that. I understand people's argument that there isn't that much defense, but I see a lot of challenge shots. Guys are just like 25 feet away and they're still making it. So I don't know. I mean, I think the offensive players are a lot more skilled. I think in the back, a long time ago, guys used to take it to the hole more and try to create contact and all that sort of stuff and finish. And there's not as many guys that do that anymore. They pull up or they just shoot it from the outside because then they don't have to deal with all the body blows and all that stuff. Yeah. Now, Giannis is the exception for the most part because he's got to go to the basket, but
it's just a less physical game too. I know non-contact sport, blah, 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 blah. But I think, and I saw a quote from like a Horace Grant the other day of this thing. It's you can't touch guys anymore, really. And it's just a less physical game. You thought Michael Jordan in today's NBA would average 45 points a game. I know you guys don't like Michael Jordan or anybody else that's really good, but that's fine. I think it's something you don't. You didn't like Michael Jordan. You didn't like Kobe Bryant, and they were probably.
Oh, I like Kobe Bryant.
two of the best two-way players ever. You guys gave me so much crap for drafting Kobe Bryant in our fantasy basketball league.
Oh, I always give you crap.
But then he's just dropping triple doubles.
You could have drafted Tim Thomas, and I would have given you crap.
Well,
that's because Ben likes. That's how he shows he likes
you. Love
Yes,
Tim Thomas. You would be just mad at me. That's why.
I would be, because Tim was my favorite guy.
Yeah,
and he played zero defense. You talk about guys who played no defense.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, he had no offensive awareness. He got more charges than anybody in the league because he was just like, I'm going to run to the basket. Don't matter if there's a guy there or not.
Why'd you like him so much?
I don't know. I always like. I never liked the superstar guys. I always pick a guy who's, And I saw a guy who was 6'10" and draining threes, and I was like, that's cool, because back then you didn't see as much of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was kind of a crazy dude, and I was like, I can get behind this guy.
Okay.
I don't know. You should talk to Giannis about how the game's not physical, because he plays with a lot of energy and effort, and he gets a lot of shots. I mean, he gets hit a lot, and a lot of plays they don't even call fouls. So, I don't know. I think it's just a lot of guys don't try to create that contact.
The one thing I would say though about the NBA, not the NBA, but about the Bucks have a team of likable dudes.
Yeah,
like they're a likable team. Like they're not a bunch of prima donna jerk faces. Like that was one of the things they talked about. I was watching Charles Barkley and those guys after, and they were saying, like Giannis or Damian Lillard said that Giannis came up to him in the fourth quarter and was like, "It's your time, man. We need you to go take this game over." And how many superstars do you know that it would say that would be willing to give up to a guy who just showed up and say, it's time for you to take the game over and not me? Where in the past, we watched Giannis won the world. He won the championship, scored 50 some points in the last game. We couldn't score a damn point. We needed him to do everything in that last game to win the freaking championship that year. So we've seen him do that before, where he took over a game. But he's the type of player who doesn't need to always be the center of attention, because he came from nothing, right? And he worked his ass off, and he's a likable guy because of that. And the rest of the guys on this team are all unselfish guys, every single one of them. And that's why you can get behind them. From Lopez to Porter to Crowder to Pat Connaughton and, everybody. Every one of these dudes are all awesome dudes. So if you want to watch a team of awesome dudes that work together, that's a team to watch. And they just so happen to have two superstars. Now, I don't know Damian Lillard very well. I don't know what his personality is like. But he seems to be pretty good and fitting in pretty well with these guys. And Giannis is allowing him to be the man. The big question is going to be, what is Chris Middleton going to feel now that his shots and his minutes are down? That's going to be a question for him and the Bucks brass and the head coach and everybody all around. Because this guy was a 20-point scorer at one time. He was the Batman, or he was the Robin to Giannis's Batman. And now he's turned into Alfred. So what's he going to do now when he's Alfred? Ugh. There might be some turmoil in the system.
Answer the door and make dinner.
That's all we need him for. That's all we need him for. We got Damian Lillard and freaking Giannis and Brook Lopez draining threes. We're good. All right, this freaking show has gone on too long already. What the hell?
It's a Viking Moe show. That happens. All right, Viking Moe. Everybody except David thinks your Vikings are going to win, so congratulations. We'll talk to you after you lose next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, you got to come back. That's one thing you do, Mo, is you never come back after you lose. You don't come back the next week, and then we rip the crap out of you. We don't get a chance to rip the crap out of you.
If you invite me, I'll be there. You
don't
don't invite me back after I lose.
We'll also invite you back if you win.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how nice we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I won't gloat about it, because I don't like to do that.
What?
Yeah, you don't like to gloat about anything, Mo. You just bring up freaking wide receivers that you drafted that I didn't like over and over 25,000 times a show.
That's different. That's just proving Ben
That's
wrong.
the same thing. That's gloating that you were right and I was wrong.
Yeah, but you picked the Vikings to win, so that won't happen this time.
Yeah, but in my heart, I picked the Packers.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, Viking Moe. Well, enjoy the game. We'll try to enjoy the game. We hope it's fun.
I do too.
We don't have a lot of hope for our team.
I'm sorry.
I know. All right, everybody. We got to go. We'll see you later. Be good. Enjoy the game. It's a nooner. Have a nooner with you this week. Hopefully Jordan Love's awake. Hopefully Matt LaFleur's got him fired up. And hopefully Hopefully, Daniil Hunter stays on Zach Tom's side because that'll help us out a lot.
He
Yeah.
probably will.
Yes. Okay, well, then we
I
got a
don't know, we'll
chance.
be able- we got a chance. He'll lose some, but he'll hold us. He'll hold the fort down pretty good.
Zach Tom and Aaron Jones, give us a chance. All
the
right.
only two guys that are any good.
All right, Mo, take care of yourself.
You too.
Everybody else be good. Have a good weekend. We'll catch you next week.
Just to hold me, till I dream of you. Got to find